So welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the Tornado GR.1. I'm going to go ahead and say that this thing is dead on arrival. It's basically outclassed in every way by the Harrier GR7. Take a look here. As it currently stands, this plane can only carry 2 laser guided weapons. And these are the Mark 13s, as you see there. They're carried in the belly of the plane, here and here. And we have our T-pod here. So that is 2 laser guided bombs. The Harrier GR7 can currently carry up to 6 laser guided bombs, all of which are probably better performing. So if we take a look here at the Harrier, these are the GR.24 paveway 3s. On the Tornado, we want to take the same weapon. We can only take 1 in this format here. So while we are a much larger plane, we can only carry literally like 1/5 of the payload. So again, why is this even coming? If we want to use this in an air-to-air loadout, we only have 2 AIM-9Ls. Again, the Harrier GR7. The Harrier GR7, we can use it with an absolute shitload of air-to-air loadouts. 4 AIM-9Ls, as well as a good air-to-ground loadout as well mixed together. Tornado doesn't have that. Tornado has no precision-guided weapons apart from these 3 air-to-ground bombs. Maybe in the future of the dev server, they'll give the Tornado the ability to carry more PGMs on the outer pylons here. I'm not sure about that though. But as it currently stands, why on earth would you ever want to use this over the Harrier? The exception is maybe that the Tornado is faster, maybe a little bit more better mobility, I guess, but anyway, enough moaning. The Tornado GR1 is currently rank 8 at battle rating 11.3, the same as the Harrier GR7. So again, why would you use this over that? It's coming after the Buccaneer, which is a bit of a pain in the ass for many players. You would assume it would come after maybe here. This is the fast bomber line. This is more the traditional bomber line. Again, I don't see why they'd add this. It's just dead on arrival as a rank 8. Really don't understand why they've done this. I'm quite let down, to be honest. Pretty disappointed. But our engines do have thrust reverse as well. So you can make these. I'll show you later. Our engines are both produced at 6,850 kilograms of thrust. Do have quite a large internal fuel tank with this plane. Kind of like the F-14 in that respect. Don't really need to take drop tanks in it. Then also have a radar. It's not modelled yet, but it's not really going to be that effective. This is the bomber version, so we don't really have any radar guided weapons to actually use with the radar. Do have 2 pilots, both of which have CCIP for the cannons, rockets and bombs. But as you can see, we don't actually have any rockets yet, so again, pretty useless. Our stock weapons are the 27mm Mausers BK-27s. These guns do actually have APHE rounds, which are quite good for taking on ground targets. Only have 48mm of penetration though. So not the best in the world, but they're still good enough to go through the sides and tops of most main battle tanks. But again, you don't really want to be getting that close to the battlefield in a plane like this. Can also carry a selection of ground bombs. These are 1,000 pounders, but they differ slightly. One of them's got more penetration, well, more explosive filler, the HE Mark 13s. I don't really know the difference between all these. There's nothing really that fancy though. This is what I tend to take out. You've got 4 1,000 pound bombs, 2 Mark 18s, or Mark 13 guided bombs, sorry, a T-pod, and then 2 AIM-9Ls. So we take it into a test drive. And again, there's nothing really that fancy about this plane. I'm not excited for it at all now. I was hyped for it, but like I said, it's just dead on arrival in my opinion. So to start, I'll show you, we do have our vectored thrust, or reverse thrust, sorry. It's quite a nice animation. So you can just like whip and it'll move the plane backwards. This is mainly used for when you want to slow down in mid-air. Kind of like an air brake, but a little bit more effective. We do also have an air brake as well, just behind the tail, or just in front of the tail, sorry. So we're going to extend our wings all the way forward to get our maximum amount of lift. Do have very nice flaps in this plane. It will be very agile if you do try and dogfight with it. Probably not as agile as a MiG-29 or an F-16. But again, we cannot dare question Gaijin's balance decisions. So the best thing about this plane really is that it actually looks nice. That's probably the only thing about it that I like at the minute. Got a good roll rate. Surprisingly good roll rate for such a large aircraft. Can also swing the wings back. Now the pylons for the aircraft are also mounted on swivels, so they will change when you change the actual wings. Although the bombs have not. Gaijin's fantastic modelling there. We also, if you're a British pilot, you have the power of levitation. But obviously the plane has a lot more thrust compared to the Harrier GR7. Although the plane here is losing a lot of speed. We are carrying a lot of weaponry though. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the dumb bombs. Don't really want them. So we're going to try and take out one of these air defense systems down here. That guy specifically. Our T-pod is deciding to not play along. So we've got our radar lock. So we're actually traveling pretty fast. So we can see here, we're going to bombs away, pickle. We're going to turn to the right so our T-pod will track. We're going to smack him right into the search radar. So that is probably the only benefit that this plane has compared to the Harrier. You can just do thunder runs across the battlefield really, but you are still going to be vulnerable to enemy air defense systems. So not really that much point using it. I guess you can climb higher up in this thing. But again, largely just dead. It does have a better thrust away, obviously, than a Harrier. Especially at higher altitude with its afterburners and stuff like that. But apart from that, I'd say that the Harrier is probably better. You want to release the bomb slightly after the target. This gives you the best chance of actually hitting. Probably going to lose laser track here. I don't think he's actually tracking it, is it? Good old-fashioned Gaijin. So anyway, let's test out our air-to-ground weapons. Pretty good rounds, to be honest. They're very effective. Obviously, the Harrier GR.1 also, the GR7, sorry, also gets very powerful 25mm guns. So yeah, I don't really think there's any advantage to using this thing over a Harrier GR7, to be honest. This thing probably has a better thrust to weight ratio due to its afterburning engines. But the GR7 has probably got better bombs, to be honest. So with the Harrier, I would typically take out... where's it gone? Can take out... I think I've changed my lineup. Usually this one, I think. I usually take 4... Anyway, I usually take the 2 extra AIM-9Ls on the wingtips. These 4 precision guided bombs are usually enough. I'd still take this though, over the GR1. I just don't understand why you'd ever want to use this thing, to be honest. But anyway, lads, I hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you in the next review.